Okay. Well, uh, this is probably not going to be too long. We're not EFAPing something right now. Still have the Cry stream to go through, and that's going to be an EFAP, I guess. But I mean, today. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not today anymore. But But Sunday. Usually there's the thing that Doomcock and Gary do. The Inquisition. That's it. Anyway, so normally there's that, but I didn't actually notice. Like I didn't really notice that it wasn't on even. Goes to show how much I pay attention anymore. But EVS was on, and somebody in his chat said something along the lines of, "Have you seen what Doomcock's upset about?" or something or other, I think, and he said that no, he didn't know anything about it. So I went to see if there was any thing on Doomcock's Twitter. He wished Tom a happy birthday, so that surely couldn't have made him super popular with all the women that hate Tom now. But somewhere, where the frick is it? Yep. Where is it? I just saw it. He keeps talking about this business about Kennedy being fired, and that's kind of the subject of this whole thing. And look, I hope that she won't be, won't continue to have her position, but it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if she does wind up having her contract removed or some shit. I honestly don't really care anymore. I mean, no Star Wars or anything else for that matter that was a Lucasfilm thing that is now a Disney thing. None of it's ever gonna be good, or not really good. I mean, The Mandalorian's okay, but I mean, even before they fired Gina Carano, it was only okay. It really wasn't great. It just seemed like it because compared to the shit that Disney had given people so far, it'd been like, oh yeah, this is great. Not that it really was. It was just by comparison. Anyway. All right. Did I already go? Oh, here we are. I believe. Yeah, here. I didn't even notice this before. I wish I had. Timestamp 1:31:30. We'll hear him say it. Yes, apologize for stoking the fire, for lack of a better term. I hope his Gary is dealing with it behind the scenes. I wouldn't count on that. Sorry again for stirring things up. So effing mad at Ryan for insulting us all. Now, I know that many people don't care for the Fandom Menace, and I don't know that I really care for the Fandom Menace either, as far as that goes, especially these days. I guess I don't know. But one thing I'll say that's kind of different about Doomcock, I know a lot of people don't like Doomcock himself, but one thing I'll say about Doomcock is that there we go. Current mood: furious. Or status biding my time. Okay. But anyway, one thing I'll say about Doomcock is that to me, he's always come off as like he will rant and rave about whatever in to do with pop culture, something that's going on with Star Wars or whatever, Star Trek, whatever the fuck. And he sounds pretty angry. He'll sometimes say some pretty spicy things, but it always comes off to me as righteous anger, or at least he considers it righteous anger, I guess. It's what I'm trying to get at is that his takes on things don't ever seem to really... I mean, even when he says really terrible things, like, I'm sure he's said numerous terrible things about Kathleen Kennedy, which I'm fine with, by the way. I would, if I cared more at this point, I would probably say really bad things about her myself. But I don't like. It doesn't seem to me that he ever comes from a place of the things that he says don't come from a place of actual malice. You know, like there's plenty of people that, especially like geeks and gamers. To just to take an example, it's like I think there's a considerable amount of malice there. I think that there's this mean-spiritedness about some of the people involved with geeks and gamers. Jeremy, he strikes me as oftentimes a mean-spirited sort of person. Same thing goes for Ryan Kinel, who this whole thing is apparently about, or at least largely about. It's kind of about all of them, honestly. And well, I mean, Uche, he's a leftist SJW type of person, but like all of that kind of person, it's like detect some mean-spiritedness there. But Doomcock, not so much. He has always struck me as it's like he honestly feels the way he feels or whatever, but he doesn't. It's not really I don't know, just not truly a. I mean, sometimes branded as hateful, sometimes even kind of brands himself as hateful, as it were, of things, bad entertainment or whatever. But it doesn't seem to really be that much of a hater. No, not really. Typically seems very good-natured overall, even when he shouldn't be. But that's another sort of complaint about a lot of these people, is that they try to straddle the fence and all that shit. But anyway, big supporter of DJ Cobra, but Ryan's comments have infuriated me. Calling people retards, no respect for him. People isms, movie opinions. Apologizes. I wouldn't hold my breath on that, dude. Before, where Ryan harassed, told everyone in chat to spit on this war vet, who later was on EBN. I don't know what the fuck that is, offhand. The war vet used as a chance to harass Jeremy. The problem with G. Overall, is it two people? Ryan gets carried away. Well, Uche's a piece of shit. It's like there's some things that I've certainly agreed with Ryan in the past over, perhaps more so than some of the other people associated with geeks and gamers. But like I said, part of the problem is that, kind of like Jeremy, Ryan is an asshole. It's just he skips, reasonable positions and reasonable criticisms of people and whatnot, and goes right to, you're a worthless piece of shit. You're stupid. I fucked your mom last night. He doesn't go that far usually. That's Jeremy who does that, but but I don't know. There's just something, well, like I said, malicious or mean-spirited about people who just go, they go full throttle right away, even when it's like, dude, just there's no need for that. There's no need to be quite, especially over nothing. See, that's the thing. See, all of this is about Doomcock, like I said, continually saying that Kathleen Kennedy has been fired, or she's going to be fired, or she's not going to be rehired, or whatever the fuck. Him continuing to say variations of that, which supposedly his sources have told him. And a lot of people, shit on the idea that he has sources, or shit on the idea that his sources are legitimate, if they do exist, or whatever, or, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people, and say that, well, some people just laugh, but most people seem to, that say much of anything about it, tend to, try to shit on Doomcock and call him Doomcock or whatever, and it's like, and say that he's pathetic for believing this, or pathetic for trying to get others to believe it, or he's a grifter, blah 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 blah, and and to me it's like, I don't really see why anyone cares. I mean, if if it is, whatever you want to call it, copium or whatever, and and the anti-Kennedy people just really want to believe that she's going to be gone, which I'd love to believe it. I'd love to believe that she'd be gone. I don't really, but certainly not going to count on it. But if they want to, then so what? It's like, that's, if he believes this shit, so what? If he doesn't, so what? It's like, why does everybody give a shit what he's saying to people on the internet? It's like, he's just putting out content, and it's there for people to consume if they want it, and if they don't, okay. If they don't, okay. If they do, okay. Whatever. Why do so many people are like, oh, I can't believe that he's... I don't know. It's just, to me, there's nothing to get that worked up over. God, I wonder about that sometimes. You see the ad blockers, as it was sitting on 666, now 668, but it's like, is blocked that much garbage from Twitter? Shit. Or maybe that's overall. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Anyway, big fan of your channel. Ryan Kinel said he said it totally out of order. Gary, this is just the kind of thing that will lose your show support. Kinel needs to check himself and his attitude. Doomcock is a good man. Generally, I would have to agree with that. A good man. There's a difference between being a good man and being a righteous man. But the good man has a lot of friends. The righteous man, not necessarily. But Doomcock does seem like a good sort, all things considered. I mean, like I said, the way that he treats people in his chat, the way that he will actually do his best to get through all the super chats, and unlike people like Razorfist, or unlike people like Gary, Doomcock isn't going to be like, oh, well, this kind of super chat I don't read, or, oh, you only spent $2 or whatever, that's not enough to get me to read it, fuck off, sort of attitude that a number of bigger channels seem to develop. I mean, I have to admit, if I had a huge channel, which I don't and probably won't ever have, but if I had one, I would certainly try to read all the super chats until it got to where it was just absolutely ridiculous, and then I'd have to be like, look, we're gonna have to like shorten the fucking streams or something so that we don't get as many. Like I said, there's a whole grifter, accusation that always comes up. Oh, they do such long streams because they want to. Of course, the thing is, to me, it's like, look, if they want to pay you to read their fucking chat, that's fine. The thing that gets me is when they get to the point where they're getting so many or whatever that they apparently feel like it's okay for them to just be like, well, I gotta go, so I didn't get to your chat. Sorry, fuck off. Maybe I'll do a square up stream or something, which almost nobody's gonna watch. Because nobody cares. If that's the only point you're there for, is to read super chats, nobody cares. The people who sent the super chats might show up. But for the most part, the point of sending a super chat, I should think, is to catch the large audience. But anyway, like I said, when they get to the point where it's like, they're not even going to pay attention to your super chats necessarily, and they feel like they can just do that and get away with it. I don't know. The phrase "getting too big for your britches" comes to mind. EBN. That's the second time. I don't know what the fuck EBN is. It must be a Geeks and Gamers show or something that they're doing. And Jeremy claims him and Ryan didn't know he was a war vet. The guy claimed he told him the super chat and let's treat the guy. Well, they're going to treat anybody who disagrees with them like shit because that's just what they're like. Well, again, so what? if Doomcock is unreliable, why does anybody give a shit about that? Like that's the confusing thing to me. It's like, why does anybody care whether he is or isn't, or whether his sources exist or don't, or whether they are reliable or not? Who cares? Why? Why do you give a shit? Jesus. Take where I'm slightly off. Anytime you're carrying the torch, blah 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 blah. People, sucking him off. That's fine if they want to do that. Biggest problem is we're attacked, and that there is something to that. Quite frankly, the biggest problem is the fans were attacked, and it's like, yeah, that's the thing. It's like they're not just shitting on Doomcock. Ryan is shitting on Doomcock's fans. And it's like, you can say that, oh well, they deserve it too for believing in him or whatever. It's like, well, but it's more for the other fans to it's for fans to shit on fans, as it were. It's not for the Geeks and Gamers guys to shit on the fans of Doomcock. It's like, no, it's okay for them to shit on Doomcock, and it's okay for their fans to shit on Doomcock's fans, but them shitting on Doomcock's fans, it's like, that's kind of where it, it does kind of seem like maybe you shouldn't do that. If Gary doesn't stand for the fans, well, and I will say this, less and less it seems like he is. Like it seems like at first Gary did kind of stick up for the people, as it were, but I guess he's getting to where he doesn't he can't be bothered, I guess. Then what? It's then dude. I never understood why people aren't able to figure that simple difference out. Then I mean can't count the number of web pages I've read that have had the wrong one. What the hell has been talking about the past 3 years? Well, well, it's 3 wasted years, wasted by him and wasted by you for paying attention to him. But again, it's your time to waste, so if that's what you want to do. Archive violated multiple Nerdrotic edicts. I'm not aware of what those are, but it wouldn't surprise me. By Gary's own words, he would have immediately fired that guy from his shop. Well, Versus not on his shop, is he? So, I agree. Gary should have checked Kinel then and there. Well, I guess maybe Gary's too weak to handle shitbirds that are on his channel. Kind of weird, but whatever. Folks need to hold together, not start throwing stones, behaving abusively. Oh, but it's so much fun, you see. Apparently it's so much fun. Which only serves to undermine legitimate criticism of Lucasfilm. Please stand up for Doom. He's not going to. I'm betting he's not going to. What do you want? What do you want to bet, guys? It's like this is what I'm figuring is that Gary's going to try to just kind of ignore the whole thing. But I think it'd be, I mean, he's kind of in a no-win situation, let's face it. It's like, if he sticks up for Doomcock, which, since supposedly they've been friends and streaming together for a long time, like, hasn't it? Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not up on Fandom, Menace, or whatever history enough to know for sure who joined when and who did what when. I don't, But I do know that Doomcock and Gary have been doing streams together for a long time, and I thought they got along pretty well. Thought they liked each other, but anyway, it's like, if he sticks up for Doomcock, which you kind of like I said, seemingly they have this good relationship, and if they do, then shouldn't he stand up for his buddy? But if he does, then he's probably going to piss off Ryan and Jeremy, and they might decide that they don't want to be on his channel anymore or whatever, and I don't know whether that would necessarily lose him all that much in the way of viewership on Friday Night Tights, but it might. And then there's, if he doesn't, though, then, well, that's going to lose him his rotating show because, Doomcock is, well, he didn't do it. I mean, he didn't do it tonight, or whatever. You know what I mean. Sunday, he didn't do the Inquisition as usual. That's a rotating show. Gary gets half the super chats. He gets to do it every other week. So if he pisses off Doomcock, that show's gone, and also any other shows that they might or might not do that I don't care about. But but still, it's like, I don't know. What's Gary gonna do? My bet is that he's gonna try to be the fence straddler, and he's gonna try not to say anything to anybody, or he's gonna try to do whatever he does behind the scenes, so that, I don't know. The thing that bugs me about Ryan is he talks so big and macho behind a keyboard. Well, he's just like his boss, It's exactly the same as the people he ridicules. It's not about the TV shows and movies with him. It's about drama and sounding tough on the internet. Well, again, Jeremy and Ryan are cut from the same cloth. Geeks and Gamers has become a bit of a clique, a bit, and they low-level bitch about Doomcock more and more. Doomcock is a decent guy, totally uncalled for. Well, I would say that he is a decent guy, and yes, that they are, mocking him. I'm not sure what is going on there. It's like, why are they mocking him? Is it are they like genuinely annoyed that he's putting out, do they, is it like, oh, well, he's part of the Fandom Menace sort of thing. He's been associated with us for a while. He does this stupid shit that nobody, can believe or whatever. And it's going to reflect badly on us, on my brand. Is that what it is? Is that what this is about? Or are they pissed that Doomcock is saying things that they don't think they can say and get away with? They and he's reaping rewards from it. Like, oh man, look at all the views he gets for this, what they consider bullshit, which may be bullshit, but then again, might not be. You don't know. Who cares? I don't know. Friday Night Tights is my least fave show on Nerdrotics. Just my view. Well, it's, I don't know. Friday Night Tights has ballooned in viewership, but it's also ballooned in the number of people that are on it. There's like, well, I've got it queued up here. How many people are on this fucking thing? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. There's 9. There's 9 fucking people on it. Even though usually one of them is a woman who doesn't talk very much, if at all. She's their token, I guess. Possibly pulling double duty as a token woman and a token Asian. But it's like, damn, with so many people on there, how much time do any of them get to say anything? And a lot of times they're kind of talking over one another, or I don't know. It's just, like I said, I wish that I'd seen, that person say when it happened, because I had to watch through to get to this point where it was about to happen. And the earlier part was pure fucking cringe, man. They're making sort of jokes about the N-word or whatever, but not in a funny way. Like, it's just cringy. It's like, God, would you guys shut up? Just move on. Move on to something else. It's, you're not, yeah. It got better. It got better. They, when you move on to joking about, when your jokes move on to, the size of Hobbit's genitals, and it's actually funnier than whatever came before, you need better material, guys. You're the man, Doomcock. Thanks for being really genuine. Human filth. Okay. Uh, talented DZ. Friday show, voice characterization, personage, Captain Kirk, for example. Harris. Why the fuck does it keep jumping like that? Maybe it's it's trying to show an ad and the ad blocker's catching it. Maybe. Forced to unfollow Ryan because of his actions were a little success and go to people's heads. Well, but is it really success? I mean, Ryan's always been an asshole. You know, it's just that I guess he wasn't targeting somebody you liked, and so maybe you didn't notice until now. but trust me, he's always been kind of a dick. Jealousy, envy, popularity, it's an ugly thing these days. Changes people. I've seen kingdoms rise and collapse under the weight of their own hubris across multiple fandoms. What is the kingdoms? What the fuck is he talking about? Our truest enemies don't cut from the front. They stab deepest from the back in the shadows. Oh my God. What do you want to bet this guy had no clue how that sounded? Here, he typed it out, didn't think for a second what that sounded like. Oh God. All right. You generous with your time, talented, creative. Well, yeah, he's generous with his time, fairly. Sometimes vulnerable. Yeah, sometimes he catches shit for that, but yeah. Angry when you need to be loyal to a fault. Fuck. Damn, it's almost 4. Don't let anyone rob you of success. You built on honesty rather than opportunity. Thanks so much, Nick. Means a lot. Man, a lot. Well, us, our retarded fans have your back. Isn't it so shitty that we have to censor that word now? Because you'll get, on fucking Twitter or YouTube or whatever the fuck you're liable to get, yeeted for a fucking, oh God. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just absolutely fucking ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Yes. That's what I said. To let him get away with the comment, considering you probably share 90% plus of your fan base with everyone in the panel. Well, maybe not for long. We'll see how that goes. So they were literally letting the dude insult their own fans. Well, and that's part of the problem probably with some of these people is that they're getting to the point where they don't care. Like, for whatever reason. Or maybe, I don't know. I mean, people like Ryan, it's like, I don't know. I feel like people like him maybe never did really care. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to these people enough to know for sure. But some of them, like Jeremy, I've known all along he's an asshole. Like I said, he's the guy that was on Twitter telling people that, barely said anything to him, like they were a little bit disagreeable, and he jumps immediately to some joke about how he fucked their mother last night, and it's like, whoa. It's like that's like really kind of beyond any thing that would possibly be called for under these circumstances. And if anybody criticizes him and he deigns to take note of your criticism of him going straight to "I fucked your mom," then he just says, "I don't give a shit. It's fucking Twitter. It sucks," or whatever. And it's like, if it sucks that much, why the fuck don't you just leave then, you piece of shit? God. Anyway, but like I said, people like him are just assholes. They're, I don't know, It's amazing that. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the dude doesn't say that kind of thing to people's faces. Maybe he's an internet warrior only. It's amazing how many people there are that do that. Like I generally try to not say or do anything online that I wouldn't do right to people's faces. Like I don't ever go overboard with trying to insult anybody. Because it's I mean, when somebody's being a turd, then being a little bit of a turd back to them or whatever makes some kind of sense. but you don't ever take it as far as something that in real life would probably rise to violence. Like in real life, if you say certain things to people in real life, they're gonna hit you. Like you're going to provoke an actual physical altercation. And I try not to ever say anything that I would consider would rise to that level, even online, because it's just like, look, I mean, I wouldn't do it in real life. It's like I never, insult somebody the way that some of these, keyboard warrior dudes do. Like I just wouldn't do it, Not just because I don't want to get hit, but also because it's too much. It's just you're being too much of an asshole. Like there's some small amount of assholishness that can be considered kind of socially acceptable, and then there's what some people do on say on Twitter and wherever the fuck else, and it's like okay, okay, that's too much. Some of the things people do online, it's like in real life that wouldn't just get you hit, that'd get you killed. Your fan base, everyone in the family, literally let into the social defense. Yep. After piecing things together in the gist of things, all I can say is my stock in the guy in question fell precipitously after the whole Snyder Cut debacle, to the point where I hardly feel surprised. Well, my question, I mean, I understand, but at the same time, I question why you have much stock in him to start with. Really, I mean, why wait until that bullshit happened before you're like, oh man, maybe this guy's not so great. Like, no, I don't know. Not respectfully reject, extremely disrespectful. Everyone, fuck RK. Okay, that's perfectly reasonable. Gary may not have been paying attention at that moment. Well, I will say this for Gary, he's having a lot of technical problems on that stream. I mean, I don't know, his computer's trying to... I thought he got a new computer, didn't he? Or maybe he's going to get one, I don't know. But, I mean, his fucking computer was, trying to burst into flames or something, I guess. I mean, the whole screen was flickering, there was pixelation... that word that I suddenly can't say. Pixelization... that word, issues, and I think half the people that were on camera, like they kind of blinked out of existence. Their screens all went black at one point. Kind of, and then came back and then went black again or whatever. It's just like, what is going on? I don't know. Like I said, so maybe he was distracted, but I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure that we'll hear it here in a few minutes. But I'm pretty sure that you can hear Gary give a, sort of a, when Ryan says what he says. So I think he heard, and I think he just decided not to say anything. Of course, maybe he agrees, because apparently it is a running joke, basically, with Gary and Az, who've been streaming together a lot, that it's just a running joke with them about, is Kathleen Kennedy fired yet? We don't know whether she's employed or not. Now, so apparently they've been poking lower level. I mean, they've been more respectful than Ryan was, I guess, but they're still... They've been poking fun at Doomcock for quite some time, apparently. And I can't remember where. Somebody in one of these other fucking, things that I did, somebody was saying something about that. And it's like, yeah. Benefit of the doubt. I give fewer and fewer people benefit of the doubt as time goes on. I mean, I try to. I really try. But they just keep on proving that I shouldn't bother. The time people yapping is hard to keep track of, and not zone out at times. Well, he shouldn't have so goddamn many people on his fucking show. It's ridiculous. Don't let one tard spoil your day. We all know the truth. He's just jealous dipshit who wishes he had sources. Nonetheless, fans. This, my son, is how the war is started. Well, and Doomcock retweeted that, so, I mean, could be, well, I mean, he gets conciliatory before long, though. But thing is, it does start to feel like you're headed towards, I mean, we've already seen one division crop up, but this could be another. Be interesting to see an all-out war inside the Fandom Menace. Like that. The Civil War in Lucasfilm may not be real, but the Civil War in the Fandom Menace is looking realer by the day. Is that a word? Realer? I don't know. More real by the day. I am a proud something. What? Okay. I said rifle ruler first. Those are the main reasons I watch YouTube. Go straight to you. Have been off for any length of time. It's like, I don't care if your rumors end up being true or not. Well, good. Your content is entertaining. You know, it fluctuates in my opinion, but anyway. Passionate. Yeah. That's enough for me. I just lost a sub. Is rather respect, reject. Proves some people in drama talk smack. Well, yeah. And it was more or less never called out. Yes, and that's probably what's really grating on everybody's nerves there. Is the fact that, you know, none of the Friday Nights Tights people seem to give a shit. I love the crew. Bullshit is bullshit, regardless of yeah. About this incident for over 24 hours. Comments were made live and publicly, and Gary said absolutely nothing to mitigate it. I tried 4 times to address this privately. No reply. Ooh. Hello. Now that's interesting. After 24 hours, I had to respond to this insult to me and my fans. And there's that. Which, you gotta admit, it's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice little meme there. Of course, being, you know, supposed to be employed against the entertainment industry, right? But anyway, now it's, you know, well, you know. Relative newcomer, and everyone else, personal beef is one thing, but the Fandom Menace was founded on the premise that you never attack the fans. Well, some people, I guess, didn't get the memo. Doomcock's fans, tards, direct attack hundreds, thousands of fans of everyone. True it was. But let that be a lesson to all of the people who watch all the Fandom Menace channels out there. It's like, some of them, like Doomcock, may, to a certain extent at least, respect you, the viewers, even if you disagree with him. But other people, like Ryan, like Jeremy, they don't give a flying fuck at the moons of Yavin about your opinion. If you agree with them, great. But if you disagree with them, then fuck you. That is how they feel. You know, they don't give a shit about respecting their own fans, let alone anybody else's. Well, I've been forced to respond publicly because the comments were public. And not only was I don't have a voice changer, so I can't do the Doomcock voice. That'd be cool, though, wouldn't it? If I could read this in his voice. All my fans were assaulted. Anyone who thinks I won't stick up for my deluded. This overlord, don't play that. Well, good up until you lost your grammar there at the end. Just say, watch is late party to the time zone difference. Get me angry. User talent, entertain, mindful of your minions. Blah blah blah. Okay. Don't understand why Gary said nothing. His fans are mostly the same people who are your fans. Does this mean that he is perfectly okay with having his fans, customers called artards? This goes against everything he claimed to be against. I'm utterly perplexed by it. No idea why a simple expression of support and friendship has not been made. Well, Gary's a good man, is he? Begins to get questionable, doesn't it, at some point? I mean, he's been making fun of you for a long time, dude. And you can always consider that, well, it was just a friend good-naturedly ribbing, but then when somebody attacks you in a much more not possible to mistake for good-natured way, and the dude still doesn't say anything about it, still doesn't stick up for his good friend, it's like, maybe his own jabs at you were not as good-natured as you thought. Maybe you were giving him too much credit. And we have been friends. I hope he will make this right. Don't count on it. If he's not fucking replying to you in back channels, that don't count on it. This is not gonna end well, probably. Or it will, because, you know, Gary will make some half-assed apology and be like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't, you know, I was away from the computer," you know, some bullshit excuse. When you know that he probably wasn't, you know. I mean, he might have been, but probably not. He probably just didn't want to talk about it. And then make some, you know, some half-assed apology to Doomcock behind the scenes, and Doomcock's like, "Oh, everything's fine, everybody. You know, Gary made it right, you know." And you'll never know, you know, whether it even sounded like it was sincere or whether it was probably just bullshit. Not going to apologize for sticking up for myself. This was wrong. And like I said, up here, he does get, you know, he does soften his position, apparently, which is bad. That's maybe the one bad thing about Doomcock, is that he's too much of a softie. You know, even when it really probably is time to stop being such a nice guy and actually stand up for yourself and, you know, and others, you know, he's probably not going to do it. And it's kind of sad that Mahler and Rags were really the only two to push back on it. Did they? I'm not sure. It's a surprise since Ryan's taking unnamed pot shots at Doomcock for quite a while now. Oh. Well, since I don't pay that much attention to him, I wouldn't know. Stand with you, glorious overlord. We cannot tolerate this kind of behavior in our community. Again, as Evie has said, stop forming fucking communities. Neanna Jeremy. You present your information in as straightforward a manner as possible, clearly making rumors and entertaining the process. Oh my god. Damn laptop shut itself off. I hate this sleep mode shit. Goes to screensaver for a few minutes and then it's like, oh. Yeah, I know. I could adjust it, but, you know. If I... you know, that's something, this fucking god-awful fucking Windows 10. This piece of shit, I've tried over and over again. Let me know in the comments if anybody has a fucking solution to this. There's something about Windows 10 where apparently when you're fucking in sleep mode, or when it goes to sleep mode or comes out of it or something or other, apparently it motherfucking switches to a different resolution. See, this is I mean, the video is only 720p, but this is 1080. This is a 1080 screen that I'm on, and apparently it shrinks. It shrinks to, like, I don't know, like that size, whatever that size would be, and you know, when it puts the display to sleep. And then you wake it up, and your fucking windows have been resized and repositioned and all this shit. All the Explorer windows are up in the left-hand corner of the screen. It's got, god damn it, what the... And I've tried everything. I've searched, and lots of people apparently have this problem. You know, read someplace on, you know, Microsoft's website or whatever, some shit about how, oh, you know, recommending uninstalling, you know, if you've got displays that aren't actually connected or whatever that show up in Device Manager or something, uninstall them. And it's like, I did that, didn't help. Still does it. And somebody else saying that, oh, it will set a custom zoom level or whatever and it won't do it or something. Tried that, didn't help. So, I don't know. The fucking Windows. Fucking Microsoft. Fucking piece of shit. Bastards. Anyway, okay. Back to this shit. Spoken by peace, blah, 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 yeah, let it rest. One last thing, there's a certain point where no man stand up for himself, lose self-respect, blah, 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 blah. Why is it dangerous to fuck with a supervillain? Well, there he sounds like, sounds good, but, willing to de-escalate. It's like, you shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't escalate, but you shouldn't de-escalate either, really. Although, I forgot about this, actually. This is funny. Reach out to you. Who the fuck are you? Right, Kinel. I ignore jealous little trolls like you every day. You're insignificant, little buckaroo. I only care about Gary, and what I wanted was a simple act of friendship and support. I don't give a shit about silencing you. Little dog's gonna yap. That's good. That's nice. The same as everybody else in that panel. He never called out DVD himself, but he and Az joke about KK still having a job at least 4 times every stream they do. If and when it happens, Doomcock was right, will be his own personal victory. Nope, what got under my skin was, and still replying to, or I guess replying to whoever that person is. Dear God, it's that. I mean, it's not that, but it's that picture. I remember happened without comment on Friday Night Tights. That was what I had to address. I ignore trolls like him all the time. This was different only because of the context. Team Doomcock. Is that? Nah, I don't want to check it out. Don't let bullies get you done. Okay. I just want to say, do not blame D-Day Cobra for any of this. Jeremy is a good man. No, he's not. He's really not. I mean, I don't know that he's absolutely an awful. Well, okay, he is, but I don't know that he's irredeemable. Let's put it that way. But no, he is kind of a piece of shit, man. It's like, Ryan being his guy, it wasn't his place to say anything. I completely understand. Using ever a hell of a channel. Well, actually, if Ryan is his guy, isn't it his place to say anything? Except, no, he seemed to, agree with him. Jeremy personally is a very nice guy. Well, they met in person and they did do that car video together or whatever. But honestly, Jeremy, I mean, I don't know how he acted to Doomcock. In person with Doomcock, he may have been really, really nice. But Jeremy acts like an absolute dickhead to fucking everybody all the time. So, no major level of respect for that guy. Just want to make that clear. Gary has interjected several times in the past. People go after other channels, YouTubers. That's all he had to do, and he didn't. Hoping Rice and I can be reconciled over this, but can't imagine any way that an Inquisition tonight would make things tons worse. Can't imagine any way. Wouldn't make things tons worse. With people in chat ratcheting things up to 11s, give ourselves some breathings. We need breathing room. Earth, Hitler, 1938. Let's see if we can't work this out. There's 100 replies. I wonder if somebody did that quote. Ryan had been led to believe this that he has a clout of Doomcock when really he's just an asshole. Well, a bunch of them are, man. Come on. He's been given a platform by his superiors. Well, his superior is an asshole. Jeremy. Come on. Most of the memes follow unchecked anger. Instead of realizing how dumb he looks, he doubles down on it. Thought I will and I don't know. I don't know. Instead, Inquisition be doing members only live stream. My folks have been insulted and abused. They need their leader. So it's a hug stream, okay? And I almost wish that I had. I mean, I don't want a membership to anybody, honestly. But but it would be nice if I had some fucking way to listen in on that. I'd be interested to know what went down. Not looking to gripe or escalate. Just want to celebrate being with the folks I love. Going live at 7 p.m. Well, and he probably kept it that. Well, he probably got at least one good rant out of his system on that stream. Let's be honest with ourselves. He surely would have done that at least once. Like, he would have tried to keep it positive because he does do that. But he probably, he probably couldn't avoid saying something. It was just ranted against me. Okay, I don't. Accusing me of dragging his name through the mud on Twitter. This is a lie. Well, that's interesting. I not subscribed to Geeks and Gamers on YouTube. Did he do it on YouTube? Maybe? I don't know. This is a lie. Here is what I said about Jeremy. My beef up to now with Ryan, but he's going to misrepresent me. Well, you judge. Think got crossways. Had misunderstanding here. I love the guy. Tagged his old account, my previous message. So sorry, Jeremy. Don't apologize. Everything I said, this attachment still applies. You're a good man. No, he's not. I'm sorry I messed up your tag. Anyway, so, I don't know. I mean, could be interesting. Now, for the main course, it's not very long. It's only like, what is this? It's only like 10 minutes maybe, or so.
The whole lack of plan thing. He has his whole book of notes. So they're just
I
like,
got it on 1.25.
And then that was the biggest mistake they made. They're like, oh no.
I really want a character drinking out of a tea. Let's do it with Luke. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. You know that lightsaber that we spent a lot of time on? Yeah, just toss it over his shoulder. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
God. Hey, but it's okay because Kathleen Kennedy's imminently gone, and
See, here we go.
Do we have an update?
Gary, we do have an update, Gary.
Do we have an update?
We have an update.
Oh my god.
There actually is an update. There is an update. Has she gone or is she here? Kathleen Kennedy's employment status is queer.
How clear is it as? Ask me every time.
Instead of queer, I was like, oh, her employment status is unclear. Oh.
So, what I'm gathering is like watching Kathleen is much like searching for Bigfoot. Everyone's just keeping an eye, looking at contracts, seeing what she's doing.
The news is that Kathleen Kennedy is imminently going to be fired when her contract runs out.
I think the chat replay is broken.
Yeah. And has she gone or is she here? Kathleen Kennedy's employment status is queer.
And since they've done this, clearly this is, you know,
the update.
like I said,
If you actually
every now and a great long while I will watch part of a Friday Night Tights, but usually I duck out for something more interesting. It's more interesting to watch Razor Fist. It's heaps more interesting to watch Hard Bastard, you know, if Hard Bastard's on, which don't think he was this Friday. Couldn't find him anyway. And, you know, if Ethan or somebody happens to be on, probably more interesting over there. And there's a lot of midday streaming that goes on with Gary and Az, and sometimes I'll watch a little bit of one of those if I happen across it, but most of the time, you know, I don't really watch that either. So I was unaware that they were poking fun at Doomcock all the goddamn time, but apparently they are. Apparently this has become a regular thing, so much so that that either they or somebody else made that fucking video for it.
believe, like, some fucking dude who says he got 8 different sources and has said 25 different things, and none of them have come true, and you continue to hang on his every word when he says, oh, another source came out and said 80% of what I've told you is true. You are fucking retarded if you can't see that shit. You might as well go sit for Geeky Pixie. Like,
I take it you don't buy it.
no, it's not.
Okay, now that, wasn't that Gary? I mean, it could have been somebody else, but it looked like it was Gary. You can't fucking tell because they're all so small, but it sounded like Gary to me. So, I think he just decided not to do anything. Of course, yeah, like I said, maybe his own poking fun at Doomcock is not so good-natured after all, so don't know.
Are we talking about a particular source here, or am I missing? Like,
Tomato.
Yeah, I'm talking about if legitimately you're just hanging on to every word of Doomcock every time he fucking comes with one of these different rumors about the same fucking thing over and over again. Yeah, I think that's.
You have like a beef with him or something? Are you?
No,
What's the beef, Ryan?
It sounds like you do.
Show me on the doll where it hurt you, Ryan.
He didn't hurt me.
Did he say you looked like a Flash Gordon supervillain or something?
No.
Show me the dollar Doomcock touched you.
At the end of the day, I mean, I was, for the longest, we all hoped Kathleen Kennedy was gone, but I have come to the conclusion she's not going any fucking where until she's ready, and I think they've proven that. They publicly fired Gina Carano and shamed her. At that point, if you had any faith that Disney was going to move in a different direction, I think that should have been the moment where, everybody realized that whatever faith that we had that this would get corrected, it's not happening.
Well, I remember that 2 years ago.
Come on.
Yeah, 2 years ago when we had that, we had a huge conversation, right? It was me, Jeremy, a few others. Matthew Kadish was the one who was kind of defending the point, saying she is so powerful that people don't realize how many friends she has and how much power she has. And now it's been made very clear just how much power and influence she really does have.
Is that surprising though? She's like isn't she like one of the highest grossing producers like in Hollywood?
Yeah. Her name is.
I would imagine that.
Yeah, at some point in here, I mean, obviously this does not working anymore, but at some point in here, somebody in the chat asked, "Does X-Ray Girl ever talk?" Which she did earlier in the stream, but not much. I'm unclear. Like, earlier in the stream, they showed a picture of her from, like, a side view and said, this is from somebody or other. I don't know. Her boyfriend, I'm guessing, since they're in the same fucking room. And said something about either saying that he or she... like she or the guy that's in the room with her were their producer or something. So maybe that's why she's here. Like, she's supposed to be handling technical side of shit, so she's on camera, but she, maybe that's why she doesn't talk. I don't know. Or maybe it's just more of, like I said, the whole thing about women. It's like they have a tendency not to say very much when they're, when there's a bunch of guys and the guys are talking, unless unless the guys are like, shut up, shut up, guys, hey, X-Ray Girl, did you have something to say? Unless that happens, it's like a lot of times there's not a whole lot out of the women folk on streams like this. And hopefully she's taking it better than, the than the others that we've talked about before, Mecca and Jesse. Hopefully she's taking it better than they do, and she isn't going to complain at some point in the future about how, oh, Gary's such an evil bastard, he won't let me talk.
Or any of the issues that stem from Star
Although I have to admit that would be funny.
Wars, the fact that Mando was so successful, as well as like all these other shows that are coming out, she's fine.
Yeah,
she's tight with Steven Spielberg, and I know Spielberg doesn't, he's not relevant from a standpoint he hasn't been making a lot of successful movies.
Doesn't matter.
Steven Spielberg is he is the puppet master. It's why JJ has so much influence in Hollywood. And
I figured it's just because JJ makes him so much fucking money. Like, he just makes a lot of money from his movies.
Well, he does, but I mean, if you go back, I've talked about this where
does
JJ
he
turned down Episode 7 at first, and then what did they do?
All I've noticed is he ruins franchises.
Like, what do I do, Steven? And Steven, I'll talk to him. And then as soon as Spielberg gets
I mean,
involved,
he
all of a
made
sudden,
money
JJ's
earlier on
and
with a bunch of
Spielberg's
shit,
the
but
person that put JJ on the map. I mean, he's literally the guy that put him on the map. And it's just that she's tight with Spielberg. She's safe. And she's
Does kind of seem like JJ's like a botched clone of Spielberg in a way.
Spielberg does, but worse.
Yeah.
He's like Spielberg.
Spielberg created him with the Force in some tank on some dark Sith planet.
Yeah, he's sitting in a little tube. Spielberg prematurely born 4 months too early.
Yeah, they just split the talent, so everything that Spielberg has done after he turned 60, basically, him and JJ are like effectively the same.
What if they twins like Arnie and Danny DeVito? And Arnie is Spielberg and Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
How dare you? Danny is so much better than JJ.
Well,
The idea of these recent rumors that it's like, oh yeah, Kathleen Kennedy's definitely out now, and George Lucas is returning to Star Wars to save it. Like, oh, honestly, shut the fuck up.
That shit's not happening.
Like, how can anyone believe that?
I mean, I think the best that you would get is that they're just given more creative control to other people, but I think that's the best you're going to get.
Yeah.
Because I'm being honest, like,
creative control.
If Filoni, for example, gets a lot more creative power and stuff, it's like, just don't hold your breath. Let's say the Star Wars getting great,
That's not better. It's not going to be better. He's a company guy, completely.
And that happened. That happened back in August of last year. That happened. He got more creative control. He got promoted.
Coffee?
Finally covered by a bunch of people
Wine.
recently.
Yeah, is the last 9 months of Star Wars been the change you were looking for? I don't think so. I don't think this fucking Civil War is happening.
I think it's pretty clear in terms of what their priorities are is to turn.
The Civil War is in the Fandom Menace.
Star Wars into what Marvel is, where they can just do whatever they want and churn out content like every month, every year, and make a bunch of money. That's the priority.
10,000 shows, 3 movies a year.
People are going to eat it up. It doesn't matter what you put out.
Oh yeah, they're going to make lots.
I'm not so sure about that. See, he says people are going to eat it up, no matter what it is. It's like, I think that's what a lot of people thought about the movies now, wasn't it? And yet, as Jeremy is so happy to point out, Solo lost money. Now, admittedly, it lost money because Kathleen Kennedy fired the fucking director and replaced him, and they had to do a bunch of reshoots and shit because she wasn't happy with it. So it's kind of her fault that it lost money. But people, like, whatever you think of the people on YouTube who are, the Fandom Menace or whatever, it's like the, whatever you want to call them, consumers, customers, whatever, which would include me, out there who are not really appreciative of all the woke garbage that Hollywood and the entertainment industry in general is pumping out these days. We don't like garbage quality shit. We don't really like it. Well, I say that. I can like stuff that's really objectively garbage, but anyway. But that's neither here nor there. That's not the point. It's like, I'm not going to watch a whole bunch of Star Wars shit just because it says Star Wars on it. And I'm not alone. Like, there's a fuck ton of people who are going to get really tired really quickly of something that's called Star Wars if it just isn't any good. Like, I mean, some people are going to eat it up, but I don't know that enough people are going to eat it up in the long run. And plus, that, as much as it's usually bullshit whenever, Disney themselves tries to say that, oh, well, it's Star Wars fatigue, that's why, our movie didn't perform as well. It's like, no, your movie's shit. It's like, as much as it's usually bullshit when they say that there's fatigue, there's franchise fatigue of whatever, that could actually happen if you pump out too much stuff. It really could. Now, maybe it won't, because even if you have a bunch of shows, if they're all a bunch of, like, 8-episode runs, and, like they've been doing with the Marvel shit, and they don't even try to do a second season, it's just basically just a bunch of mini-series or something, that might work, That might not make people turned off to it too quickly, I don't know. But, I don't know. We'll see.
Lots of money on like that Ahsoka show and all that. They're gonna make tons of money.
Yep.
The book
Does she count as a ginger?
No, she's got blue and white tail hair, so
That's close enough.
I haven't watched Bad Batch at all. Did the sisters show up? I heard there was something. Ryan, did you say something about the?
Yeah, the Marquez sisters. The
So is that this week?
sisters.
The SJW hair sisters. I haven't watched this week's yet, but.
I haven't watched it.
Are they on the Bad Batch?
Yes, they're in the Bad Batch.
Oh my god.
Because every fucking person that they meet is someone that you know from before. Like that's just how it is.
It's a small galaxy.
Wait.
Yeah, it's just fucking cameos, man.
I'm so glad I don't give a fuck about Star Wars anymore.
I was gonna say, didn't you just describe Mando Season 2? That's all Mando Season 2 was.
Yeah,
Every episode
exactly.
was a cameo.
Remember Boba Fett? Remember the noise the bombs making?
Remember his suit member? Wilbur?
And like, keep
It
in
was
mind,
Bill Cosby narrating? This is great.
Remember Bill Cosby?
Say that like it wouldn't be great.
your jello.
What the fuck was that?
those sisters,
That was odd, is what that was.
those sisters were created by Filoni and substituted for what was supposed to be a male romance for Ahsoka in those 4 episodes. Got replaced with the Martez sisters, and it turns out there's a plan for it all along. You know that Dave Filoni loves female characters, so
Worst episodes of that entire last season. Yeah, I'm just disconnected from Star Wars completely after the Gina Carano thing. So and it just you could think that good people are there, and it doesn't matter. They're all fucked, and they're all part of the idea that is Lucasfilm. So whether Kathleen Kennedy's
I absolutely don't wish this on him, but I just can't help but think, if things snowball and go completely to shit at some point here, is Gary gonna fall off the wagon? I mean, I hope he doesn't. I really don't want that to happen, but it's something that comes to mind since he has that problem. He's an addict. It's like, ooh. is he gonna crawl back to that if things go badly at some point? Which I'm not just talking about the Fandom Menace at this point. I'm talking about everything, because things are probably gonna go badly before long. Just in general.
There or not, it really doesn't matter. It's a Disney thing. It's a cultural thing within the walls of Lucasfilm. It's fucking done. It just laugh at it and roast it, EFAP it, but that's about all you can do with it. Because you will. But that's why I'm not gonna watch the Bad Batch. I have no faith in anything they're doing. Fuck them. I stand with Gina Carano.
Yeah. I mean, after that,
I hate to agree with Jeremy, I really do, but I kind of feel the same way on that count.
What's the point, really? I mean,
I'm assuming if you guys found out she was definitively fired, Kathleen Kennedy, I'm assuming the videos you put out would be like, woohoo, but also,
Yeah, I'm kind of out. Yeah, I'm out until something just drastic change, and it can't just simply be her, and I just don't have faith that will ever happen.
Nothing drastic is going to change unless Disney sells Star Wars to, I don't even know who, but somebody who just, by sheer coincidence, is prepared to handle the franchise correctly. Because I think Disney's proven at this point that they don't have a fucking clue how to handle it.
So I'm just kind of done. I'm just out with Star Wars. It's over.
Yeah, I have to blame my apathy on Gary because, as he pointed out, everything leads to the Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, whatever. And I was watching Empire one day.
No, it doesn't.
I just heard it echoing in my brain. I'm like, God damn it! Like, ejected
It's really
the DVD
hard.
and stopped.
Yep.
Yeah.
I totally get that. It can be really hard to watch this content that came before when you know where it's going to end. It's really hard to pretend that the original trilogy is this little bubble and that there's nothing outside of it, because you know that that's not true. In the end, Luke abandoned his family. Han got killed by his own son, and then Leia's gone, and they're all gone, and it's just really sad.
They're all shitty, and everything's shitty.
And it's like when he steals Luke's name.
Yeah, because for the longest they would say things like, well, they can't, and I've probably said this too, like, hey, they can't take away, the original trilogy from me. Yeah, they can.
Yeah,
they can. And they did. Like, I mean, it's fucking, it's just not the same.
Let me ask you this. Okay, let's say they fucking erase everything. They erase the continuity and they fire everybody. Does it really change anything? You still saw that?
No, it doesn't. The damage has been done.
Anyway, that's essentially it. I just wanted to watch until we got to this little, bunch of complainy, whiny-ass bullshit here about the original trilogy. Because I wanted to point out, I've said before, that it's never made any sense to me that people like Gary, which obviously includes Jeremy, Fringy, Comics Division, all of them, I guess, are in this boat at this point. They're all like, well, because bad stuff exists, I can no longer enjoy good stuff. If it shares the same name, or supposedly the same characters, even though clearly it doesn't really. Pardon me. I've never understood that. I have really, seriously, never fucking understood what the deal is with people like Gary, who are just like, oh, I can't enjoy the originals anymore. It's like, why the hell not? It's like, I have watched Disney's Star Wars movies. I think I've watched all of them. I think. Took me a while to get around to actually watching Solo because I just didn't fucking care. And then I watched it and I was like, okay, that was garbage. But I don't know. It's just, I guess it's a. Again, I've never actually watched Doomcock's. I've never watched Doomcock's video about head canon or whatever, but I guess it's a question of that. Maybe it's like all of these, and maybe it has something to do with the fact that I was really big into Star Wars. Like, these people are the sorts of people that, to me, they're normies. Because they're like, they're like EVS. They're like, oh, huge Star Wars fan. Or at least they used to say that. And now they're like, oh, I can't like Star Wars anymore. And it's like, aside from the movies, some of them maybe have watched, like, the Clone Wars or Rebels or something. And that's it. Like, that's the extent of, or maybe they've played KOTOR. Like, that's the extent of their, or they bought all the toys, obviously, like Gary. But that's essentially the extent of their interest in Star Wars, of how deep they got into it. And it's like, I watched the original trilogy. I watched, and I unironically enjoyed, as a child, admittedly, but still, I unironically enjoyed the Ewoks movies, even though those aren't technically Star Wars movies, I guess, because they don't say Star Wars on them. They're still Ewoks movies. It's like, I watched both those sons of bitches, and I like them, except I didn't like them the second one, that, all the humans die except for the little girl. And Wilford Brimley, but I meant of her family. But anyway, it's like, yeah. I watched the Ewoks cartoon as a kid. I watched the Droids cartoon as a kid. Really kind of sad that they didn't make more droids. I thought the Droids, cartoon was kind of cool. I've played, I don't know how many different games. I've read, I don't know how many different novels. Never really played the Star Wars role-playing game. Never really had anybody who was interested in that kind of thing to even try it out with when I was growing up. But I still bought a whole bunch of the supplements and read them because they were so cool, as fleshing out the universe and whatnot. And so the expanded universe is like, I don't fucking care whether Disney owns Star Wars and they say that, oh, that's now Legends. It's like, I don't care. Disney could say whatever they want about it. It doesn't make a shit to me. It's like all of the expanded universe stuff will always be more real to me than anything that Disney does. Hell, it's more real to me and always has been than anything else that George Lucas did. It's like, I love the original trilogy, but the prequels are not nearly as good. They're a far cry from the original trilogy in terms of quality and likability and whatnot. I mean, I like them all right, but they're not wonderful. That's for damn sure. And like I said, insofar as they kind of contradicted things or retconned some things or whatever that had already kind of been established in the expanded universe. Like, the expanded universe going forward kind of shifted to be in line with the crap that was in the prequels, but the stuff that came before kind of painted a different story than what you got in the prequels. And to me, the EU version was the better one, and so, if there's some kind of conflict between what supposedly happened according to the expanded universe before the prequels and what happens according to the prequels, then I'm going to default to thinking of the expanded universe version of things as being the correct one. I don't give a shit whether it was George Lucas. It doesn't make. I don't care. And so, how many orders of magnitude less do I give a shit about what Disney says? Fuck them. I don't care. Not one goddamn bit. So, no. It's like, it doesn't matter to me that these horrible movies that Disney made exist. They're not real. As far as I'm concerned, they're not fucking real. They're essentially like Disney. Disney basically is just doing a really shitty, really high budget AU fanfic. It's just like what's happened to Star Trek. It's like Enterprise, and Enterprise was a bunch of retconny garbage, to be honest. But I mean, in retrospect, it was retconny garbage that was still quite enjoyable. Let's put it that way. But it's still a bunch of retconny bullshit. So was First Contact. Although, again, I like the movie. Doomcock says he hates that movie. I don't know why he precisely says he hates it. I like the movie, but admittedly, it's retconny bullshit. Like, it contradicts things that were established in the original series. So, in terms of which is correct, it's like, well, the original series is correct. And fuck what happened in First Contact. It doesn't matter. It's like, you can enjoy the movie and recognize that, it's like, Elseworlds or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't count. But like I said, fuck Disney Star Wars. As far as I'm concerned, Disney Star Wars is utter garbage, every bit of it. And there's plenty of things that they've said, plenty of things that they've said that they've tried to be like, oh, this is how it is, and and all these lemmings in the Fandom Menace or wherever else just kind of go along with it. They're like, well, yeah, they own it, so they get to say. Fuck who owns it. Don't care. Don't fucking care, dude. I do not. It does not diminish my enjoyment of the original trilogy at all. As a matter of fact, you want to talk about what diminishes my enjoyment of the original trilogy. Stupid bullshit that George Lucas did in altering the original trilogy. For first, he did pardon me. He did like 3 versions, right? He did the special editions, which were released in theaters and then on VHS, and I watched them in the theater. And then he did another edit of them, of the special editions, when they did the DVD release. So the DVD release for some years, he said, is the finished product, the version he wanted people to see. And he refused for a long time to put out the original theatrical versions, and finally he did begrudgingly put them out on DVD. I have them, although I'm pretty sure they're not restored, so it's like they're not of as good a quality. But I guess that's just him thumbing his nose at the fans again. And then, one last time, he decided that for the Blu-rays, he would do another fucking re-edit. Now, there's several, little bits of dialogue that get changed, and as well as, most people focus on noticing the special effects that are improved or added to or whatever, but there's little bits of dialogue that are changed for no apparent reason. In the theatrical special edition version, when Luke... Vader cuts off his hand and offers him, the devil's bargain, essentially, and Luke just lets go and falls. In the original theatrical version of The Empire Strikes Back, he just falls, and there's, the nice score from John Williams, and no other sound, really. In the theatrical release of the special editions, George Lucas put in a fucking scream from somebody who definitely wasn't Mark Hamill. So there's this ridiculous of Luke while he's falling down. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? And then thankfully for the DVD release, he took that back out and made it silent again. Now, I don't know whether he stuck it back in for the Blu-ray release, but one thing I know did get stuck in for the goddamn Blu-ray release of Return of the Jedi was you had one of the most emotionally powerful scenes in the entire original trilogy, as far as I was concerned, and that was Luke being electrocuted by the Emperor, being killed by the Emperor, and calling out for Vader to save him. And you get this back and forth, later Vader looking back and forth between Luke and the Emperor, and despite the fact that all you can see is a fucking mask, the combination of, your knowledge of who these characters are and their relationship with one another, and the glorious soundtrack, from John Williams, totally sold me on this is a really emotional moment. He's like, you can't even see Vader's fucking face. You can't see his face. It's just a fucking mask. And yet, it's like, I was totally sold. It's like, I don't need to see his face. It's still very emotionally powerful. And then he reaches over and grabs the Emperor and throws him down the fucking shaft. And in the fucking Blu-ray, in case anybody hasn't seen it, in case you're lucky enough to have not missed that shit, George Lucas decided to stick a ridiculous wailing "No!" from, I assume, actually from James Earl Jones, in that scene. It's like, what the fuck? Fucking idiot. So, yeah. But that kind of shit that was George Lucas's fault ruins the original trilogy, or comes closer to ruining it for me than anything Disney's done. It's like, I don't give a shit about, Rey and all the other, shitty characters and their dumbass movies and all, and old man Luke who, acts like he's, got split personality disorder or whatever. I don't care about any of that crap. But you editing the original trilogy to stick things in there that just don't belong, that is, potentially ruins it, or at least it ruins it for me if that's still in there. Thankfully, in spite of his efforts to avoid it, there actually are fairly decent copies of the original theatrical version, I believe, floating around out there if you know where to find them. I believe somebody actually took the special editions and despecialized them or something, and there's been a number of fan edits, I believe, to maybe try to keep some of the better things that were inserted, but get rid of the crap that that didn't need to be there and shit. So but no, it's like I can, like, as long as it doesn't have dumbass shit inserted into it that doesn't belong there, like Luke screaming for no goddamn reason in The Empire Strikes Back, or Vader screaming for no fucking reason in Return of the Jedi. As long as there's not crap like that just ruins how emotionally powerful those scenes were, then the existence of Disney's movies do not in the slightest bit bother me. I can watch the original trilogy and still enjoy it greatly. In the same way that, Picard exists. Okay, don't care. Does that mean that I can't go back and watch The Next Generation and thoroughly enjoy it? Nope. Doesn't change it for me at all. Like, I can watch The Next Generation all day long. And the fact that Star Trek Picard exists doesn't bother me. And it shouldn't bother anybody. And the fact that all these, shitbirds on the screen here are all bothered by it. Because Disney, garbage exists, that means I can't enjoy anything that came before it. Well, that's your fucking problem, dude. It ain't mine. I don't have that problem. And I would assume that if I don't have it, then surely a lot of other people also don't fucking have that problem. All right, that rant went on a hell of a lot longer than I expected it to. Not just that rant, but all the other shit that I covered here. But nevertheless, so there's that, and don't know. Be interesting to see where this goes. Like I said, I figure Gary will give Doomcock some half-assed apology behind the scenes, and Doomcock will pretend like everything's fine, because I'm sure that he doesn't want things to not be fine. But from the outside looking in, things don't look fine at all. And that's funny. Like I said, it wouldn't be so funny if all of these people were nice people, but so many of them are total dickheads. Total dickhead. Not sure about... I'm not sure. There are times when they seem like total dickheads, but that may be an illusion. And increasingly, Gary seems like... I don't know. That picture right there kind of says it all. And one more thing that I really wanted to do since I found this. I love that. There's some shit. Who was it? Where was it? I don't even remember. I saw someplace people were talking about how everyone's disavowing Testify, who I think made that thing. But it's like, are they? I haven't heard that. I don't know. And I don't know. Who cares? Who fucking cares? There's too much drama to keep up with. But I heard about this, and I was like, okay, well, I need to figure out what the fuck's going on here. So we did. We figured it out, I guess. Ryan decided to act like an asshole because he is one. And Gary, for some reason, didn't say shit about it. But maybe that's because he agrees. Don't know. We'll see where it all goes later. Until the next one.